Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills. When you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Escape to sports with Buffalo Wild Wings. GM Tommy Martin invites you to come watch your favorite team play at Buffalo Wild Wings. The best game day atmosphere and happy hour in town. Menu items as low as $2 each weekday 2 to 7 and again 10 till close. Plus wing specials every Tuesday and Thursday. Don't forget to ask your server about the Blazing Rewards program and see how you can earn free food. Buffalo Wild Wings, Richmond Center.
It's the time of year we've all been waiting for. It's time again for the Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic Basketball Tournament at Madison Central High School in Richmond, Kentucky. The Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic dates are Thursday, December 19th through the evening of Sunday, December 22nd. For more information and ticket info, visit jackburford.com.
We can't wait to see you here for all the great holiday basketball action.
That's right, John. Go Indians and good luck to all the teams.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills. When you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Escape to sports with Buffalo Wild Wings. GM Tommy Martin invites you to come watch your favorite team play at Buffalo Wild Wings. The best game day atmosphere and happy hour in town. Menu items as low as $2 each weekday 2 to 7 and again 10 till close. Plus wing specials every Tuesday and Thursday. Don't forget to ask your server about the Blazing Rewards program and see how you can earn free food. Buffalo Wild Wings, Richmond Center.
It's the time of year we've all been waiting for. It's time again for the Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic Basketball Tournament at Madison Central High School in Richmond, Kentucky. The Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic dates are Thursday, December 19th through the evening of Sunday, December 22nd. For more information and ticket info, visit jackburford.com.
We can't wait to see you here for all the great holiday basketball action.
That's right, John. Go Indians and good luck to all the teams.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills. When you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Escape to sports with Buffalo Wild Wings. GM Tommy Martin invites you to come watch your favorite team play at Buffalo Wild Wings. The best game day atmosphere and happy hour in town. Menu items as low as $2 each weekday 2 to 7 and again 10 till close. Plus wing specials every Tuesday and Thursday. Don't forget to ask your server about the Blazing Rewards program and see how you can earn free food. Buffalo Wild Wings, Richmond Center.
It's the time of year we've all been waiting for. It's time again for the Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic Basketball Tournament at Madison Central High School in Richmond, Kentucky. The Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic dates are Thursday, December 19th through the evening of Sunday, December 22nd. For more information and ticket info, visit jackburford.com.
We can't wait to see you here for all the great holiday basketball action.
That's right, John. Go Indians and good luck to all the teams.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills. When you need legal
Live at Buffalo Wild Wings here on a Monday after Thanksgiving. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We're going to talk some high school basketball when we come back. Also Kentucky football. It's a jam-packed show, as always, here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Sports fans, the wait is over. For the next hour, sit back and enjoy the ride on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Share your thoughts and opinions on the live feed on WBON TV. And stay tuned for everything you need to know about your local sports teams, college and pro sports as well. The Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show is served up by Buffalo Wild Wings and brought to you in part by the law office of Patrick O'Neill. Now, here are your hosts, Michael Watkins and Samantha Burford.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome into the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Samantha Burford, Michael Watkins here with you on a Monday evening. Samantha, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was delicious. In fact, I had another set of Thanksgiving last night. I ordered extra turkey so that I can go home and eat it tonight. So I am passing on the Buffalo Wild Wings burgers this week.
Well,
forgive me, Buffalo Wild Wings, but I'm going to have turkey one more week.
I feel like all I did was eat over the weekend, starting Thursday and running through tonight when I came over here and I didn't get the burger tonight. I've been craving some wings from over here, so I made sure to get some wings.
And chips. You had chips because I snagged
did. You
a
snagged
few.
some of them. You always do that when I get some chips. But
I do.
It's a great place to come over here and watch some good ball games. As always, you know, bowl season is right around the corner. There's some really good football games coming up this week.
Yes.
And speaking of those bowl games, later on in the show tonight, Jamie Boggs, who writes for Nation of Blue, he's also the host of the morning show over on the new 106.7 The Pinnacle in Berea. He will be coming on to talk about the UK bowl prediction, so we'll get with him on that.
I have my prediction.
Well, you've got some inside information as well, so you might be able to help us out there. But, you know, we're waiting on the arrival of the Esther County girls basketball team. They will join us to talk about their upcoming season. And they've got pictures tonight, so they're pulling some double duty.
Yeah.
So we'll get them in. We'll get them out of here, talk about their season upcoming. We've been talking to some of the other coaches around the area, Madison Southern girls basketball, Berea girls basketball, Model. We're going to try to get all of them on here in the upcoming weeks.
Model boys basketball
exactly,
on too.
Yeah, and
so
Central
we
girls
still got a
well.
lot of people to talk to.
You know, Brad Lovely, the head coach at Madison Central. Now they're having the Jack Burford Classic. That'll be in the middle of December, so we'll talk about that later on in the coming weeks. And we've got a commercial that they made for that as well. You'll see that during the show. But we do want to talk about the schedule that we have put together for this season. And we are going to get our coverage of local high school basketball started.
It's maxed out.
It is. Well, we've got a lot of big games.
Schedule.
A lot of big games, as always. And my favorite game of the year is always that third game, Madison Southern and Estill County. No Central Southern this year.
Not till district time.
Not till district time.
They're
I'm
make
sure
us
we'll
wait.
see it eventually at some point, but not in the regular season. No Madison Central, no Madison Southern, which is normally our very first game of the year.
It is.
This year, our very first game of the year will be tomorrow night as Madison Central will host Pulaski County. And then on Friday, a huge game over in Berea as Madison Southern welcomes in the defending state champ, the Trinity Shamrocks out of Louisville.
I know it. And we were talking to Austin Newton about that game, and he was like, of course I'm going to be more game by game. But right, he plays Cordia
tomorrow night. That's a big game, too. And Don will be doing that game. So if you want to catch
that's just not a
TV
game.
That's just a radio game.
Radio
so that'll
game.
be a big game tomorrow as well. But it's an exciting time.
Holy cow, it could be. It could be a great game.
It could. Because, look, listen,
just
Cordia,
because we're not there, you got to listen to it on the radio or go.
Cordia has been a very good team as of late. They were, you know, a team a few years ago had a couple of guys that went to play for some big Division I schools. And Roderick Groves is no longer there, but they're still a pretty good basketball team. They'll be making their way over to Berea tomorrow night. So two big games in the area.
For
Southern, and you will have Cordia tomorrow night over in Berea at Madison
Trinity. Southern.
And then tomorrow night as well, we will be live on WBON for Madison Central and Pulaski County. And I'm excited to see some of these teams because obviously I'm interested to see how Southern plays without Trent Marbley. It's a big loss for them, a senior, a guy who had really come into his own. Going to be interesting to see how they play without him in the middle.
Yeah, we read his statement about his, torn ACL last week. So for those of you, they're going to miss him in the middle.
They are, and he
just got in such great basketball.
He did,
shape.
and
he transformed
had
his
really
body.
became, a typical big man now that can stretch the floor.
Yes.
And shoot the three. He can penetrate. And he was really their big guy down low. So I'll be interested to see how
they're not going to have
perform.
a big guy.
They won't. They have a lot of depth though. They've got 10 or 11 seniors.
Very
Coach
deep.
Newton said, and they will be.
Central is deeper.
Central is deeper considering that they're going to have to play these guys. I mean, there's they're going to have a lot of guys, I think, early on in the season. Coach Feld also play around with some different lineups, play around with some of that youth, and see who is ready to play.
It's going to be kind of fun watching, right? How he's going to transform this team, minus Isaiah Kozar.
And he even said, this is probably the most interesting team I've had. And he's been around for a long time because he's not had a team like this.
27 years.
He's not had a team like this. So I'll be interested to see how Coach Feldhouse
and he said he may play more zone. Like, he doesn't ever play zone.
He does not.
So how exciting is it going to be?
I think with the length that this team has, with Cole Brown and Ray and Skaggs and Rogers and some of these
being
guys,
their tallest player.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of length at the guard positions as well. So I think they'll be able to use that in some zone. Some of our other games this year, obviously that third game of the year on December the 10th, we'll have Madison Southern versus Estill County. The Engineers, they will be at home for their first WBON game on December 13th versus Bell County. On December 21st, we will have the Jack Burford Chevrolet Classic as the Lady Indians take on Breathitt County. Later on in the season as well, on January the 3rd, we will have Estill County versus Powell County, that doubleheader. It's always a big game over there. Madison Central at Madison Southern girls basketball on January the 16th.
That'll be a big game.
Estill County versus Wolfe County. That'll be a very interesting game because those two teams actually open up the season versus each other this week.
Yes.
And those two teams will play again later on in the year on January 28th in the game that we will have for you on WBON. And then Estill County will also take on Breathitt County on February the 4th in boys basketball. That'll be another big game over there in the 14th region. A lot of really big games on our schedule. Madison Central will play Trinity. Estill Madison Central girls. We've got Central Covcath. Madison Southern versus Berea. That'll be a fun game over there in Berea as Eric Swords and Coach Newton get together. So it's always fun to see these local teams play each other. And that's really why I like the Central or the Southern Estill County game, because you get two of our local teams that we cover, and
they have a history.
Get Austin Newton and John Bentley, two guys that played together at EKU, playing against each other or coaching against each other on the hardwood.
And how great was it? The last 2 weeks we've had each coach on. They have such admiration for each other, such respect for their teams. It's going to be really, when they're on the court, they both said, we're full out. But, of course, it's nice to hear how they talk about each other. And they're really good friends.
Well, and they respect each other, and they want to see each other succeed.
That's right.
But they won't want to see that on December the 10th, obviously.
That's right.
We do want to talk about, so we are awaiting the arrival of the Estill County girls basketball team. They are on their way up to talk about their upcoming season. A little season preview. We'll talk to Coach Hughes, and they will be having their pictures are coming up later on tonight as well. So they're going to be in and out really quickly. And then go right back to Estill County and take their team
That is
pictures.
very nice of them to come join us because it's a drive.
I kind of twisted Coach Hughes' arm a little bit.
Did?
So she'll be all right, though. I think she likes me. I like giving her a hard time. And I really want to ask her about her coaching staff. I know Blaine Click is still on the staff, I think. I'm not sure if Cassidy Flynn is. But last year I got to give her a hard time about her coaching staff. We'll see who is on the staff this year.
I can't wait to talk to her about her. They have such young and experienced players. I can't wait to talk to her about that.
Well, we'll see what she says about her young team and their upcoming schedule as well. And I do want to quickly update folks. So, obviously, we had Joe Benton on with the Estill County basketball team last week.
And you gave him a hard time.
Well, listen, I've known Joe for, I feel like, 10 years. I mean,
you just ever
since I came up here and started working at Wallingford, I've kind of got to know Joe off the court and got to watch him on the court. And this is I've covered a lot of players, whether it was up in Jackson when I was up there or here at Wallingford. And other than my little brother, who I got to call games for while I was in Breathitt County, Joe's probably my favorite player to cover because I've got to really hang out with him and get to know him off the court.
Yeah.
Super humble kid and very, very excited to say he will be signing his letter of intent or his national letter of intent to play golf at EKU on Thursday. So we will have the Richmond Review show on Thursday. Then I will be heading over to Irvin to cover that as my boy Joe Benton signs to play golf with EKU. We'll have that story up for you later on this week on WBON. And Samantha, it's a very busy week here. We've got a ball game tomorrow night, sports show tonight. Thursday night, we've got our Christmas party. Yes. Friday night, we have got the Christmas parade, and we've got a ball game. And you can watch the Christmas parade on our Facebook page. We will have a feed up for you. You can actually watch you and Kelly Wallingford, president,
third year.
CEO, hosting the party over there at the Christmas parade.
Right. We're very excited about it. We just had a meeting this past Tuesday. It's going to be one of the biggest parades. They've got 120 entries in this year's Christmas parade. Yeah, it's going to be large. Now, there are people that drop out at the last minute. We understand that, and it happens. But I was looking at the weather today. It's supposed to be nice, not raining, high of like 49.
That'll be
now,
good.
maybe not 49 by 7 p.m., but it's not going to be raining. It's not going to be snowing.
That'll be big because people, you got kids like to get out there and watch that thing. If it's too cold, it's hard for them to enjoy it. But I've seen they all bundle up and get out there. So
30 below, yeah, that's difficult.
That'll be Friday night. So it's a very busy week here. Now listen, if you're a fan of the Christmas parade, again, you can watch that feed live on WBON. The Parks and Recreation, and they do a good job of putting that on every single year. So it'll be fun to kind of watch us and them kind of partnering up for this big event and us broadcasting it.
It will
on
be
WBON.
live on Richmond Parks and Rec, their feed.
Yeah,
it will go straight to them, and we will share it on our WBON page.
Yeah, and we'll have the game for you there as well. So there's a lot going on Friday night. You can pull up, if you're sitting at the house watching high school basketball, or keep this in mind too, if you go to the parade, you can still watch the game on your phone. Or if you go to the game, you can still watch the parade on your phone. So a lot of ways to keep in contact.
So I don't have to go to the game Friday night?
We'll let you off.
You're going to make me come
we'll
after
let
the
you
parade?
off. The girls' basketball team is here. Coach Hughes and them just walked in the doors.
They're
We'll take a short commercial break. We'll get them on and talk about Estill County girls' basketball when we come back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Escape to sports with Buffalo Wild Wings. GM Tommy Martin invites you to come watch your favorite team play at Buffalo Wild Wings, the best game day atmosphere and happy hour in town. Menu items as low as $2 each weekday 2 to 7 and again 10 till close. Plus wing specials every Tuesday and Thursday. Don't forget to ask your server about the Blazing Rewards program and see how you can earn free food. Buffalo Wild Wings, Richmond Center.
It's the time of year we've all been waiting for. It's time again for the Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic Basketball Tournament at Madison Central High School in Richmond, Kentucky. The Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic dates are Thursday, December 19th through the evening of Sunday, December 22nd. For more information and ticket info, visit jackburford.com.
We can't wait to see you here for all the great holiday basketball action.
That's right, John. Go Indians, and good luck to all the teams.
Back here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, Samantha Burford, Michael Watkins here with you on a beautiful Monday evening here in Richmond. We've got the Estill County girls basketball team with us. And, Coach, first of all, let's talk about how things are going to be a little bit different coming into this year. Still a young team. Lost two Estill County lady engineers that they eat, sleep, and breathe Estill County girls basketball in Bellamy and Flynn. But talk about what your team looks like coming into this year.
Well, we'll look a whole lot different. I have a whole new coaching staff, and we're going to be very young. Replacing Megan and Kylie will be hard, and Amelia, I've coached them since they were in 6th grade, so there's a big change there. But we will be very young. Our only senior starter probably would have been Kaylee, and she's out hurt. So we're going to start young. I don't have anybody above a sophomore starting, so we will be very, very young.
How long are we out for? Do we have
2 months.
2 months?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'll still get back hopefully by the end of January, I guess. So enough time to get her ready for district tournament time. Yeah.
Tell me, how hard is that? I mean, you got to be so excited about getting the season started, and then
I've not played a full season of basketball. I always get hurt.
Ever?
No, I haven't. I always get hurt.
Did you get hurt in practice or
we were in scrimmage.
Okay.
We played in Montgomery County. I went after a loose ball and my leg buckled.
Well, listen, I've seen you play. I know you can be a little rough, but you can't be. You don't need to be doing that in the scrimmage games. You got to save it for the regular season, right?
Yeah.
Well, so, and we've a couple other players that are hurt locally as well. So, what are you going to be able to do to kind of still help this team? Obviously, being one of the seniors on the roster.
I mean, I can be their eyes off the court and just cheer them on. That's be a good teammate, even though I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Just do my role that way.
Just be thankful like you didn't tear an ACL.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was at first.
Yeah. Oh, that could have been season ending.
So you got a young team, and it makes it tough every year.
2 7th graders, 2 8th graders, right?
Well, we'll probably start at 1 7th grader, 1 8th grader, and 1 freshman and 2 sophomores.
So
no juniors on the team, I saw.
How will you cope with that early on in the season? Because I know when you've got that many young players that haven't really played in some big games, it makes it hard on you. So what will you do early on in the season to try to just get them to calm down and get through some of these early games?
Well, I think I have to be more patient. That's not really one of my strong suits, is I have to be patient. And there's going to be a lot of coaching. We're going to have to coach them up. There's going to be a learning curve. I just hope that when the lights come on, they're not scared to death, but I don't think they will be. One of the starters will be J.C. Long.
Yeah.
Her older brother plays for Coach Bentley.
Dylan.
I think she'll be all right. And then Sarah Baker will probably be our other starter. She's an 8th grader. So
now the long girl. She's broke her record at the middle school or something.
Yes.
That was held by
with Kennedy Flynn.
Kennedy Flynn. Yeah. So I mean that's something right there, because Kennedy holds the record at the high school too, right?
Yes.
So it's a big deal.
JC's going to be a good player. We just got to learn to be patient, not stress too much, and not. I have to learn not to yell at him as much.
Well, I want to talk about Mia. First of all, I don't know why you didn't buy my lunch the other day.
Yeah, sorry.
You could have done that. You know, it's all right.
I don't buy his lunch.
I won't hold it against you. But, I've got some stuff. I mean, you're getting some praise around the state. Some pretty cool stuff here. So talk about what your expectations are for yourself and for the team coming into this year.
Just every game going out there and playing as hard as I can and doing what I know I can do and helping my teammates do what they can do too and getting the ball to them. And
a lot of you girls play multiple sports together. Do you think that helps you whenever you are out there on the court or on the softball field?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it helps. Like, it makes it feel closer to them, so then you're able to play better with them. And
I got to ask about that Powell County game. That's always a big game. You all, I mean, it is.
Big
It's
rivalry.
the same thing with Central and Southern. It's always a big deal over here. How do you prepare going into that game? To me, when I was playing against Breathitt County back in the day, whenever you could sense that game coming 3 games away, 2 games away, the next game, it just seemed like it was hard to look ahead. How do you all cope with that, or try to keep that in the back of your mind and not be thinking about that going into some of your other games?
Well, it's even hard for me because, we'll be scouting and planning for months ahead. So we are looking ahead all the time. But It's really hard. We just try to stay businesslike and worry about the next game. But I will say it's very hard because, as much as we respect Powell County, we want to beat them every time we play. So it does. You have to watch. We call them trap games. You can't be worried about Monday's game when you got Powell. You can't forget Monday when you've got Powell coming up. So you got to just take care of business every day.
That sounds like a coach, doesn't it?
Yeah.
One game at a time. One game at a time. So you guys start Thursday, right?
Yes.
It's an away game.
Yes.
Then you have 2 at home.
Yes.
So tell us about what your schedule. What do you feel like is going to be the biggest challenge?
Well, we start with Menifee, and going on the road is always hard, especially with a young team. If you've ever been to Menifee,
it's not good.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's the middle of nowhere.
How long is that bus ride?
An hour and a half, maybe?
It's only about an hour. It's not really a bad drive. It's just there's
But you're on
nothing
a
else
bus.
there.
Yeah.
I think they got a subway. That's about it.
Well, you all do that a lot, though. You got to go to Owsley County,
Yeah.
Lee County. I mean, you should be used to that.
Yeah, we pretty much are.
Yeah.
But, Menifee's pretty good. They got a 6-foot post player that's really good. And Breathitt will be our first challenge as a regional opponent there on that Friday. So
Let's talk about the district. It's always interesting, I feel like, in the girls' side over there because it's been really competitive, and I feel like every single year there's a different team at the top of that district. Obviously, last year you all losing in the first round to Owsley County, and one of the most exciting games we had on the air last year. Talk about the district and how do you see it shaking out? Who's your biggest competition there?
Owsley is pretty much favored to win the district. They are very good. They return everybody from last year's team. And they're actually top 3 preseason in the region. So that will be our biggest competition. Us, Powell, and Lee are all rebuilding. We're all having to replace senior-led teams.
Yeah.
So, the rest of us are just trying to compete with Owsley right now.
When you look at Owsley County, it's so weird to me. It seems like every year they have one player who could be the region player of the year. You look back at the Gibson girl. Back in the day, they had Micah Turner and Peyton Wright. They have had a lot of really good girls basketball players come through there. When you look at the rivalries that you have within the district, is that your biggest one, or do you still consider Powell County to be your biggest district?
Powell is our biggest rival, and it's
hands down.
Owsley, we've always had close games with them, and there are Pal's always going to win out.
Yeah.
We just don't like each other when we play ball.
I understand that.
A nice little friendly competition.
Yeah. I don't know how friendly it is on the court.
It's not friendly on the court.
It's not friendly.
It's not friendly. But
we're all friends outside of it, but
well, and that's what makes a good rivalry, though. I think once you get between the lines, I don't know. Is there trash talk on Twitter, Mia?
Not really
anymore.
between the girls.
They're better not admitted on the air.
There
not
you
the
go.
girls.
I like it. I like that. I like that. Well, what is your favorite part about playing basketball with Estill County? I mean, to me, when you got a smaller town like that, especially when there's not a whole lot going on, there's no movie theater, there's no bowling alley. I mean, when you all play, you're the main attraction there. How does it feel to play in a small school like that?
I don't know. It's just great because everyone knows you and everything. It's not a big school, so they're there to watch their friends play and stuff like that. So it's just awesome to get to play in front of all my friends and play with some of my closest friends.
You have some pretty good support throughout the years, too. I mean, you look at that pep section, I feel like every game, especially in those district games, that pep section is full.
Big.
How does that make you feel when you're out there playing?
they have, I mean, they can't control the game, but they have a lot to do with it. They have a lot to do with the hype and the emotion of how everything goes down. Something crazy happens, they're the first ones on it. Like they have a lot to do with how we react in games.
Well, last week we had Coach Bentley on, and Danny and William texted me and wanted me to ask him what it was like having the best broadcasting crew in the entire world. So I'm going to ask you that. Do you talk to them throughout the year? Do they ever maybe give you? Because they've been around for a long time. And if you hear them talk about it, they're Estill County greats. As far as going back into the realms of history at Estill County basketball.
I do love them. How can you not
How
love
do you
them?
not love William?
They are the best.
Oh, my gosh. He's the worst one. You can't. I mean, listen. I don't know. They're probably.
He's going to be at our Christmas party and he's going to thump you.
Well, yeah. If I know, no, he's going to be at. He's on the honeymoon, or like it's in his anniversary. They're celebrating his anniversary right now. But if I know William, he's probably sitting at home right now, clipping his toenails with his vest on, and smoking a cigar or something. But
no, we really love William, Danny.
And they've been around for a while. I think 30+ years they've been calling games.
They have such a good communication skill between the two of them. They tell such good stories.
Well, because they've been around for a long time. And you know what my favorite part about them is, though? Like when one of them's not there and I do the game with the other one, first of all, I get called, whichever one of them's not there, they call me that name. And then they really go in on each other when the other one's not there. So it makes it very entertaining.
It is fun.
Coach, let's talk about the season, obviously. Again, you open up on Thursday. Got a couple of home games later on in the week as well. What do you want to tell fans about supporting you all this year, how to get out, and why they should come out and support Estill County basketball?
I think we'll surprise a lot of people. Come out and watch. We're young. We're going to fight. We're going to be scrappy. We're going to give it everything we got to try to make everybody proud. But yeah, come out and watch us. I think they'll be impressed with our youngsters. I don't know.
Well, it's a good time of year. It's a good time to come out and watch these young kids play because if you familiarize yourself with them now, they're going to be around for a long time. You got the 7th and 8th graders. I know you're a sophomore. So you got a lot of youth out there playing, so you can come out and watch them now. You're going to get to watch these kids for a long time. Is there a place people can go to keep up with you all, a Twitter or Facebook? Do you have that they can go and maybe follow up with you all during the season?
They can always use our high school Twitter page, and we also have a basketball Twitter page. So, or they can be on KHSAA and watch us there. But our high school actually has a really good Twitter page, and they try to update scores. So that's a good source of information.
There you go. That is the Estill County girls basketball team. I know you got pictures coming up, so go back and get ready for that. Thanks for coming on, and good luck this year.
They are.
You never tell me I'm pretty. What's going on with that?
Can't lie, can you?
All right, that's fine.
I can't lie.
Well, we'll take a short commercial break. We'll come back. We'll talk some more basketball here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills. When you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Escape to sports with Buffalo Wild Wings. GM Tommy Martin invites you to come watch your favorite team play at Buffalo Wild Wings, the best game day atmosphere and happy hour in town. Menu items as low as $2 each weekday 2 to 7 and again 10 till close. Plus wing specials every Tuesday and Thursday. Don't forget to ask your server about the Blazing Rewards program and see how you can earn free food. Buffalo Wild Wings, Richmond Center.
It's the time of year we've all been waiting for. It's time again for the Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic Basketball Tournament at Madison Central High School in Richmond, Kentucky. The Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic dates are Thursday, December 19th through the evening of Sunday, December 22nd. For more information and ticket info, visit jackburford.com.
We can't wait to see you here for all the great holiday basketball action.
That's right, John. Go Indians, and good luck to all the teams.
Back here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show live at Buffalo Wild Wings. Folks, it's the time to buy gifts, Samantha, and if you're struggling trying to find what the best gift to buy somebody is, a gift card's always a good option. And here at Buffalo Wild Wings, you can get that. You buy the gift card, I think it's a $25 gift card, you get that $5 bonus card. So don't forget about that here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
That makes it nice. It's like 5 free extra bucks. So
well, what you
makes
can
it
do,
well worth it.
You can buy yourself the $25 gift card.
And then
just give somebody the $5 gift card.
That's what you're going to give at our company Christmas party. Are we doing the jokester gifts?
We are doing this, the Secret Santa or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those can be very interesting throughout the night.
Usually alcohol.
It is sometimes. It is some alcohol. We always have fun
Not
at the
always.
Christmas party,
I shouldn't
though.
say that.
Well, I know last year there was somebody who gave a blanket.
Yeah,
and
there was some nice gifts.
there was like a Santa Claus puppy dog that Reagan got, and she went crazy with it. So.
Yeah.
You know, listen.
It's fun. We have a good time.
We have a very
pictures
we got
allowed.
an exciting month coming up. There might be a show or two that I can't make it to. We got a little boy coming soon this month. I mean, I don't know when it's going to be here, but.
Oh, that's
And I have to call him It because we don't have a name for him yet, but we're still.
You haven't decided?
We can't decide on the name. It's been rough.
Well, you know, I can't say anything. I didn't either with our first, even though this is your second. We were like,
yeah,
we're
it's a little bit tougher because I want to name him something, she wants to name him something, so we can't agree on it.
And you cannot agree. So
but you know what we
can
can agree on?
Like in football.
You know what we can agree on?
What?
Kentucky laid the smackdown on Louisville this past weekend.
So what are we doing? We're doing this?
Well, you got to be careful. You don't want to get everybody upset at you because I mean
they're all mad. At least
crazy.
in Louisville.
Listen,
and how great is it that they're saying we're not just a city?
Yeah, we're a state. I like that. First of all, I'd never heard that before.
I never heard it either.
How did that happen, though? How does that saying go so long without being said? That's a pretty big deal. I like that a lot. Landon Young said that, former Lafayette player. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. And it was a great game. There was some tremendous football on this weekend, at least collegiately. Oh, and you think about it, NFL, I know you're a big fan, but of course I like Benny Snell, so he got his first touchdown.
He's playing well.
Pumped about that. So
and a lot of those guys from last year's team are playing well in the NFL. Lonnie Johnson Jr., the cornerback for the Texans, he's playing well. Josh Allen, obviously, he's been really good for the Jaguars. So I like seeing these guys playing well at the next level. Let's go back to that UK game. Obviously, Jamie Boggs will be here in a few minutes. He'll talk to us about the bowl predictions and everything.
We got to talk Ole Miss, too.
When you talk about this game, Lynn Bowden Jr., he only threw the ball twice for 4 yards, but he runs for a record for a quarterback in the SEC. 284 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. Kentucky as a team runs for 517 rushing yards. Just an unbelievable, dominating performance.
Numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's numbers that are unheard of. I mean, you don't hear that very often.
No. And college football has been very weird this year. You look at the Auburn game against Alabama. There was a lot of, interesting calls that were made throughout the game by the officials.
That seemed like it mostly went Auburn.
Now your daughter goes to Ole Miss.
Yes.
They had a very interesting thing in the Egg Bowl.
Just fired their coach. He took the blunt of what just happened in their Egg Bowl.
So the kid scores the touchdown, and then he gets down like he was a dog, and
because they were playing Mississippi State Bulldogs, so he got down and acted like he was going to urinate.
Yeah, and then they lose, so it's pretty bad.
Pushed, so that was right after their at the last 5 seconds left touchdown.
Yeah.
Into the game, pushed him back an extra 30 yards to get the extra point.
And he missed the PAT. I mean, that's crazy.
And he missed it.
And
now the coach is fired. Now, here's an interesting fact. They're tossing around on all kinds of media today. Mm-hmm. Eddie Gran. Mm-hmm. He was a former assistant at Ole Miss. Do you think he's ready for a head SEC job?
I don't know. And listen, if he goes,
we're gonna be
mad.
I
don't know though. I mean, I don't know how good Kentucky's offense has been with him. Like, they're not – to me, they're not a dynamic offense. I mean, you look
better.
at
They're
pretty
better.
much just
it keeps getting
Lynn
better.
Bowden just doing his thing. Lynn Bowden just doing his thing because he's just like, hey, give me a block. Now, to me, I think the most important aspect of Kentucky's team this year has been that offensive line. The offensive line has been good this year, too.
The defense has been
I
powerful,
mean,
even though they really didn't get a lot of accolades this past weekend.
Yeah.
The defense.
Well, when you run the ball that well, that has to be the deciding factor or the thing you talk about the most in a win like that for Kentucky.
I do want to say this about the defense. I had to write it down. They held their opponents under 34 points for a 26 straight game, even without Josh Allen. I mean, think about it. 26 straight games, the longest active streak in the nation.
Wow. And you know, their defense has played very well during Mark Stoops' era.
Yeah.
And the weather was ugly on Saturday, and I think that kind of played into it. Yeah, they do.
Every Saturday.
And the Georgia game comes to mind too. That was an ugly game in the weather like that.
Terrible
Too. So it's been an interesting year for Kentucky football. I don't think if you look at how the season started, anybody would have predicted that we would have gone to a bowl game, because after that South Carolina game, everybody's like, okay, I'm off the bandwagon.
Yeah, absolutely. And to think that we took a wide receiver and made him a quarterback. But if you think about it, look at all the plays that he did. It makes perfect sense. I mean, like you said, they only threw the ball twice. But you think about what he did. I mean, he's fast, he's quick. He even ran down and blocked.
Yeah.
How great was that? I was like, that offensive lineman just got in his way and we would have scored. And then I went, wait. That was Lynn Bowden.
He's been saying that he wants to play basketball, too. Have you seen?
I've never seen him play basketball.
Now, oh, my God.
But I guarantee you he can.
Some of his highlights that are on Huddle, like people use Huddle a lot now. Some of his highlights, first of all, his football highlights are insane. His basketball highlights, he can dunk. He can shoot a little bit. He's just an athlete, though. He really is just an athlete.
Right. So, you know, he went out to the 50-yard line 2 different times at the end of the game, got very emotional. They're saying this could have been his last game in Kroger Field. So
I think it was. I think it was his last game because, first of all, you look at what Lamar Jackson is doing in the NFL, a guy that people said he should play quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, now, or he should play wide receiver. Now look at what he's doing as a quarterback.
Now, but do you think he'd get drafted as a quarterback?
I don't think Bowden will get drafted as a quarterback.
No. Right.
But when you have a guy like that, what you can do is maybe have a package of plays where he's your wide receiver, and maybe have 4 or 5 times a game where you put him back there at quarterback and say, okay, just go make a play for me because he can do that. I honestly think, and I don't follow the NFL draft a ton, but I think that Bowden has made himself a legitimate first-round pick contender because of the way that he has played this season. He basically put this team on his back and willed them to a bowl game.
He really did. And here's the thing that, you know, I was talking about this past weekend to anybody that would listen to me.
Oh, that's not a whole lot of people.
That's not a whole lot of people. Okay, so you think about it. We are really defining this year's UK football season by the win of this Louisville game.
Yeah.
If they would have lost this Louisville game, their defining moment would have been, okay, we lost to Louisville, and their season, we would have said, really was terrible.
Yeah.
Especially after some of those 2 to Tennessee that we lost that we should have won.
Let's talk about some of the great seasons that UK players have had. Jamie is on his way in, so we'll have him join this conversation with us. But you look at some of the great seasons that Kentucky players have had, whether it be Benny Snell last year on offense, or Josh Allen on defense, or Randall Cobb back in the day. We've had a lot of guys do tremendous jobs at their job or have just spectacular seasons. We will look at the year that Bowden has had when we come back. We'll take a short commercial break. Jamie will join us for that conversation.
We're going to talk about Coach Stoops, too.
Exactly. We are live here at Buffalo Wild Wings. And again, guys, if you're looking for a perfect gift, go over to Buffalo Wild Wings, get that gift card. And it's a $25 gift card. You get a $5 bonus card. Or tell you what, a new deal on a Chevy would be nice for you as well. You can check out the Jack Burford Chevrolet.
It's still Black Friday.
JackBurford.com. Their Black Friday sale currently going on. And some of the best deals on Chevys in the state are at Jack Burford Chevrolet. Go over there, check that out. Check out their website for their complete inventory at JackBurford.com. When we come back, Jamie Boggs will join us. We'll talk about how Lynn Bowden's season ranks for Kentucky Wildcats and preview their upcoming bowl game. Where will they be playing their bowl game? Coming right back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Tell us where you think.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Escape to sports with Buffalo Wild Wings. GM Tommy Martin invites you to come watch your favorite team play at Buffalo Wild Wings, the best game day atmosphere and happy hour in town. Menu items as low as $2 each weekday 2 to 7 and again 10 till close. Plus wing specials every Tuesday and Thursday. Don't forget to ask your server about the Blazing Rewards program and see how you can earn free food. Buffalo Wild Wings, Richmond Center.
It's the time of year we've all been waiting for. It's time again for the Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic basketball tournament at Madison Central High School in Richmond, Kentucky. The Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic dates are Thursday, December 19th through the evening of Sunday, December 22nd. For more information and ticket info, visit jackburford.com.
We can't wait to see you here for all the great holiday basketball action.
That's right, John. Go Indians and good luck to all the teams.
How many seconds?
Back here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, Samantha Burford and Michael Watkins, joined by Jamie Boggs. First of all, Jamie, we brought you on to talk about the bowl prediction for Kentucky, but we're talking about the season that Lynn Bowden has had, and that was our Facebook poll question today, was after the season and the game versus Louisville for Lynn Bowden, would you rank this season as maybe the best all-time by a single Kentucky player? And 37% say yes, 63% say no.
I would be very interested to see
who would you put
what
above
performance
it?
would be and above that. I mean, obviously Josh Allen had a monster senior season.
Snell, I mean, those two guys.
Theirs was more of a career
Yeah.
picture. It's this year, not only his numbers, but he changed positions after the first 5 games and completely adapted to running a new offense and did it better than anybody ever expected, I think.
To me, I think the defining moment will be him walking onto midfield, kind of soaking it all in, and just seeing this is my last game. And I think he's going pro. I mean, there's no reason for him to come back. He's
Absolutely.
literally proved everything there is to prove for a guy at this level. And I mean, I think Randall Cobb had a good season at Kentucky back in the day. Obviously, Tim Couch had several good years. But to me, it's hard to find one single season that was better than what Bowden did this year.
I'm a big baseball guy, so I really like advanced metrics, wins above replacement. I feel like if you take Randall Cobb off that team, it's not as good, but it's still okay. I think if you take Josh Allen off last year's team, they still win 8 or 9 games. If you take Lynn Bowden off this team, it's a disaster of a season.
How difficult is it for a player, in your perspective, to totally change positions like that?
He had played quarterback in high school.
Right.
But it's a completely different game in college.
Especially in the SEC.
Right. And after the last game, Vince Marrow said that it was after the South Carolina loss that he came to them and said, please let me try this. So it was not only that they asked him to do it and he sacrificed, it was his idea.
Yeah. And looking at how Lamar Jackson and some of these guys are playing in the NFL, do you think he has a shot to play quarterback in the NFL?
I don't. I don't think he's shown that he can pass well enough.
I think he's made himself a legitimate first-round contender. Or first-round pick contender because of what he's done. He could be a guy that could play in the slot, wide receiver, and then have a package of plays, 5 or 6 plays per game, maybe not that many, but have a package of plays where we say, okay, Lynn, line up at quarterback and maybe throw it every now and then, but be more of a wildcat guy who can just go out there and make a play for you.
Yeah, I think of a guy like Percy Harvin that came out of Florida several years ago. They ran a lot of jet sweeps with him. He played the slot, but he really ran the ball quite a bit as well in the NFL, and I think that's what
when you think even how he ran this past Saturday and ran down the other end of the field to make a block so that we could get a score. Now, granted, he kind of ran into him, but your offensive lineman can't run that fast.
He's doing everything.
He was, like Michael said a few seconds ago, he was literally carrying this team on his back. Can you imagine what he said during halftime of Saturday's game?
I bet it was just partying at the halftime locker room.
We were all thinking, okay, this game could go either way. And then they came out on fire.
They were all business, man. They were all business. And he had so many big runs, too. But so the season's not over with, obviously. What are you hearing as far as where our bowl game could be? Where are we going to be?
Sure, some of it depends on what happens with the New Year's Six bowls that the college football playoff sets, whether Florida and Alabama both get into that. But from what I'm hearing, it's really been narrowed down to 2 options, and those are the Music City Bowl in Nashville, which Kentucky last played in 2017, or the Gator Bowl, Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, which is down in Jacksonville. The Kentucky played there in 2016.
Yeah.
So it's going to be familiar territory. The Gator Bowl is, in my opinion, the more prestigious destination. However, I could see the Music City Bowl making a big push for Kentucky just because of the fan base that would crowd it.
And either way, they're going to be fans there at either game. But I've heard Indiana, Iowa, maybe Virginia Tech as some of the opponents we could be taking on.
Right. In the Music City Bowl, that would be an ACC opponent, which if you watched any football this weekend, you see that every ACC opponent of an SEC team got destroyed. So as long as Clemson's not walking through that door, I would feel really good.
Yeah, we don't want to play
So it could be Indiana.
And they won't. Indiana and Iowa,
Tech?
those would be in the Gator Bowl.
Yes.
Those would be Big Ten opponents.
Okay.
And the Music City Bowl would be Virginia Tech or possibly Pittsburgh. I've seen Miami's name thrown out there.
Okay.
And I believe Kentucky would have a great chance against any of those teams.
Now, the quarterback in Miami was actually on Kentucky's roster, right?
He committed to Kentucky and then decommitted twice and then went to Miami.
Yeah, and they to me, I don't think there's any ACC teams that have had just amazing years. Florida State's been up and down. Obviously, Louisville's been up and down.
Well, that shows you how weak the ACC is this season. It's really not big, but how cool would it be to play Iowa? Because that is Coach Dupe's alma mater.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, and I think that would be a really good it might be a low-scoring game, but I think that would be a good matchup for us as far as just being a really tough, gritty, defensive run game football game. I think that would be a really good contest to watch.
I completely agree. I think that would be the best matchup as far as who would be favored. That line would be the most even.
Yeah.
I saw Wisconsin's name thrown out there for the Gator Bowl.
That'd be scary.
I don't like that at all.
No, I don't either.
And I think depending on how they do in the Big Ten championship game, they may end up in that New Year's Six Bowl as well.
Yeah, Wisconsin was a team that was super impressive early on, and they had back-to-back losses before. They had, I think, Ohio State beat them, but they lost before the Ohio State game as well, which is kind of interesting. It might have been, was it Indiana that beat them? Or?
It was somebody, or Iowa State or Indiana.
A team that they shouldn't have lost to, obviously.
Middle of the road Big Ten.
Let's talk about the basketball team.
Well, hold on. So which bowl game do you predict? We're making predictions.
I would predict the Music City Bowl.
Just because it's closer, that they know will bring a lot of fans.
Right, the school and the bowl and the conference all kind of go together, and they have this pool of 6 bowls, and they decide who's going where. I think Kentucky would prefer the Gator Bowl, but I see a team like Texas A&M, maybe even Tennessee, who would be above them in the rankings, ended up down there.
Now, do the schools get paid to play in those games, or how does that all work?
Yes.
Yeah, they get a ton of money, and that's part of there are 2 reasons you want to go to a bowl game, just to say you did and to get the extra practice, but also for the financial payoff that comes with that. And you can find online the budgets for every bowl, and they range from like $90,000 to $2 million.
Oh, wow.
So there's
and if you win, do you get more, or is it just does it depend?
I don't think so. Okay. I bet the coach does in his contract.
Yeah,
so Mark Stoops will
Mark
if he
Stoops
wins.
will. He's already gotten a 1-year
I think
extension.
the schools get an equal pay for participating in the game.
And you know where Mark Stoops, his first stop was Sunday going out recruiting?
Louisville. It should have been, absolutely.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Man, he gets it, though. He really does. He just gets it.
He met with a player that I think went to Mail.
Yeah.
So how cool is that?
Yeah, that was genius.
He does a really good job of recruiting his state. I mean, you look at some of those offensive linemen. You got Drake Jackson that played at Woodford County. You got the kid, Landon Young, that played at Lafayette. Walker Wood played at Lafayette, too, but he never really had a chance to do anything at Kentucky. Not sure if we may see him transfer or maybe a position change next year. But it's been very interesting to see these guys do what they have done as far as recruiting in state. And obviously, Wandale Robinson got away from us, but how good would it have been to see him out there playing with him? Him and Bowden, those two guys would have been insane.
To see him in the offense that they're currently running with Bowden would be phenomenal.
And just think, they actually showed a picture of the O-line without their helmets on, getting some accolades this past Saturday night. And I was like, that's what they look like. You don't get to see them, without their helmets on. So it was kind of nice.
I really think there's probably 3 or 4, maybe all 5 of those guys on the offensive line that could play in the NFL.
Absolutely. It's finally the first time in Kentucky history, in my opinion, that they've had SEC offensive line, SEC defensive line, and a few of those guys are coming back. So the offensive line is going to be set for a few years.
Do you think that Cash Daniel has a shot to play in the NFL?
I don't. He has really had a rough year off the field with the incident of twisting the Florida player.
Yes.
And he just hasn't looked like himself even when he has been in the game. He missed so many arm tackles on Saturday against Louisville. It's just been I feel really bad for him, but I'm not sure he's going to make it in the NFL.
He's one of those guys.
Him to.
Yeah.
Our heart wants him to be able to go.
He's
but
one of those
didn't
guys
even play
that's
the second
a
half.
spiritual leader. He's a guy that every team wants because he's a leader. He gets you motivated.
Mentally.
But as far as on the field, I feel like he was so good last year because of everybody that was around him, made him look so much better. And now, like, he was the guy defensively coming in. He had a little step back, so I'm not sure if we'll see him playing on Sundays, but he's a guy that I think if he goes back to Eastern Kentucky, he is guaranteed a coaching job somewhere just for the sheer fact of how good of a motivator he is.
I think he would stand a chance. The XFL starting back up next year, doing something like that. And not kidding, I think he may end up trying to go into professional wrestling. That's been a passion of his. He's been a big fan.
That's true.
Yeah, you saw the video where he smacks the two water bottles together like Stone Cold used to do back in the day.
I think that may be a route that he pursues.
Well, and he got in trouble. He got a little mouthy, apparently. Didn't even play the second half of the UT Martin game, right? So it's kind of –
it's just been a rough year for him. You hate to see it.
And all kids, I mean, you get that
You're 20
that disappointment, and you get that, man, I mean, it's just been a bad year, and not what he expected, not what the fans expected. I don't think the fans are down on him, but I think he's down on himself more than anything, and that's kind of hurt him as far as his play on the field has been.
Yeah, and UK Athletics really promoted him.
Yeah.
He was the face of UK football.
What do you think about the saga going on with the L's down? I mean, to me, it's a non-issue. It's just Louisville's looking for something to complain about. But what do you think about that?
No, I think it's all in fun. Again, these guys are 20 years old. They're out there to have fun. They're getting excited for their teammates. If you can do something to mess with your rival mentally, you're going to do it. And there's all kinds of footage that's popped up on Twitter of Louisville doing similar or worse things to other schools.
I've seen that today, too.
So, I think they were just frustrated with – they did not expect to get dominated the way that they did. So I think they were just having a hard time with the loss.
And now Louisville's coach has got his own meme doing it, where he's out there memeing
he was doing
Stoops,
it too,
complaining.
He should have whispered that, not done it himself.
And not done
not
to signal himself.
Yeah.
I just gave UK fans some ammunition to go on Twitter. Now, you write for the Sea of Blue, and we've got some of your articles up on WBONTV.com. Talk about some of your coverage some of the games you've been to, and what you'll be doing the rest of the year.
Sure. If they're in Nashville, I may try to go to the bowl game for the football team. We'll see how that works out. I usually go to the basketball games. I've been to 3 or 4 shooting on the sideline, and what I've seen there is what I see from all John Calipari teams. Like, everybody gets frustrated in November and December. They're like, oh, well, this group's not as good. But then we get to February and March, we're like, you know what, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And especially this season, they've been hampered by injuries. He's only using 10 scholarship players. And Dante Allen, Kentucky guy, is one of those.
He should be coming back.
He's going to be starting full practice soon, but other guys have been out every game. So he's had 7 or 8 players available to him. It's hard to expect them to crush everybody with that limited roster.
It's hard to find a rotation, too. Like, who do I use in this situation? Who do I use in this situation? I mean, it's kind of hard to find out who do you want out there. Let me ask you a question. And this is just something I thought about. Do you think there may have been a chance that they lost the game versus Evansville on purpose, just to give Walter McCall? I mean, that's a former Wildcat. Give him a little bit of love.
I don't think so. I think that was such a big upset that you just don't want that on your resume. But, I mean, it gave Kentucky fans something to be happy about.
It did.
To your point, though, I've watched the entire game, and I felt like Calipari never had a sense of urgency. He just kind of –
he let them lead.
Here, guys, go.
Figure it out on your own.
And maybe that was to teach them a lesson. But you're right. It didn't look like he was super scared of the loss.
Well, and I think, to me, first of all, there are so many very good basketball players out there. You look at Stephen F. Austin beating Duke.
Yeah.
I think just the gap between all these schools has closed. Now, obviously, you're still going to have a few teams at the top, but I think like the gap as far as who your middle of the pack teams are and the top teams are has closed a little bit because there is so much talent out there.
Like Memphis.
And you've got some of these kids that want to go play by themselves at some of these smaller schools.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of closed the gap and made some of these games where you're seeing a Duke lose or a Kentucky lose or some of these smaller
like the kid
schools.
From Georgia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who could have went to Kentucky is going to, I want to go do this on my own to kind of help my stock. And I don't blame it, but I think that's one thing that we're seeing is the gap between all these teams and all these players has closed a little bit.
I completely agree, and I think that's both the beauty and the fault of college basketball. When you get to March, anything can happen. I think if you set it up to where the Final Four was a series of 3, you may end up with the best team winning every year. But it's rare that the best team wins the tournament. Everybody's got talented players. People get hot. People get cold. You can never tell what's going to happen.
Especially if you don't get a good seed and a good draw of where you're going.
Now, one thing that I thought about this team this year before we go off the air, to me, this is one of the hardest teams to like because there's not really that one guy. I mean, Sestina maybe. It could have been that guy that you just fall in love with, but I don't see anybody out there. You know, quickly. I mean, they are all good players, but I just don't think there's that one guy. Like on last year's team, you know, you had not Shea. Who was the guy last year? That was the to me, Tyler Hero was the guy last year.
Yeah,
the year before you had Kevin Knox or Alexander was kind of that guy that came from nowhere. There's not really that one guy who you just fall in love with like we've seen in years past, Malik Monk or Dominique Calkins, who is just, man, I love watching that guy play ball. There's not that guy on this team.
I think it's a lack of personality, or at least personality coming through so far. Quickly, he seems like a great guy. No fans love him, but he's not out there. I mean, Hero was a very
Hagens is a very personable person.
He is.
And so is Maxey.
Maxey is in all of my interactions covering Kentucky, he may be the friendliest player that I've ever met. And I think hopefully that'll come through by the end of the season. But now he's just the guy who shoots long threes crossing his legs.
That's what I do.
You can see their video, their Salvation Army. It was on Thanksgiving. You know, and their personality came through in that video. But you're right. Most of them shy away from the camera.
Well,
they may be instructed to not. You know?
Well, I think whenever if
you're not good at it,
when you go to Kentucky, you have a microphone or a camera in your face at all times.
Yeah.
You know, when I went to Media Day, Nick Richards was literally slouched over like this, just like, is this over yet? Yeah. And it's hard to get behind guys like that because, and it's not that he's a bad kid or anything. It's just he doesn't gloom, hey, personality like like Jamie does. You know, he doesn't put it out there like, hey, look at me. And I feel like some of those kids. It was not a bad thing to be that way if you have one or two guys that are just the guy to fall in love with on a team. I don't think Kentucky has that. To me, I thought Whitney should have been that guy. There was so much hype surrounding him coming into this year, and he's not showed the
very rough start.
I'm the guy capability yet. So
yeah, I agree. And Nate Sestina is the most vocal guy.
Yeah.
But he's injured. He's kind of older. It's kind of like I loved Reed Travis, but he didn't want the attention.
Exactly.
He was the old man hiding in the background.
Yeah.
So.
My daughter met Nate Sestina at a party, and he walked right up to her and said, "Hello, my name's Nate."
Yeah, he seems friendly.
He does.
Very
he was
friendly.
a good. And I asked him the question if he was going to help any of these young guys shave. He just loved that. But he's just. I think he's a fun kid. But for him, he's not really in the limelight like some of these freshmen are. So he don't get a chance to really put it on full display. And like you said, now he's injured.
So will we see Hagens change up his sneakers like he did last year? You know, with the L's. Sometimes the L's were down.
For Louisville coming up, I don't know. When's that game?
I'm going to that game, December 28th, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm going.
It'll be fun. Well, Jamie, thanks for coming on, my man.
Thanks for having me.
You can continue to check out Jamie's stories. We'll have some of them up on WBONTV.com for you.
This show flies by. We have a lot of fun.
Well, that's why it flies by, Samantha.
It does. It's because you get to spend it with me.
And on that note, we are going to take a break and go to the house. So for all of us, for Samantha Burford and myself, Michael Watkins, Jamie Boggs, again, you can listen to him in the morning, 8 to 10?
7 to 9.
7 to 9. You got to get up early,
7
man.
to Pinnacle. I do. I need to get out of here.
Yeah. Do your bedtime?
Yeah.
I bet it is.
The new host of the morning show on 106.7 The Pinnacle. If you like Christmas music and some funny talk in the mornings, Jamie is your guy again on 106.7 The Pinnacle.
Anytime.
And him and Donald Foster will have the Southern game for you Friday night as well. For all of us, have a great rest of your evening. For Austin Hanks, what's my kid's name? We got Alex is the new guy. You got him over there producing for us. TT on this camera, and our producer on the radio side, Jaden Johnson. I'm Michael Watkins. Have a great rest of your Monday evening from all of us here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills. When you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Escape to sports with Buffalo Wild Wings. GM Tommy Martin invites you to come watch your favorite team play at Buffalo Wild Wings, the best game day atmosphere and happy hour in town. Menu items as low as $2 each weekday 2 to 7 and again 10 till close. Plus wing specials every Tuesday and Thursday. Don't forget to ask your server about the Blazing Rewards program and see how you can earn free food. Buffalo Wild Wings, Richmond Center.
It's the time of year we've all been waiting for. It's time again for the Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic Basketball Tournament at Madison Central High School in Richmond, Kentucky. The Jack Burford Chevrolet Holiday Classic dates are Thursday, December 19th through the evening of Sunday, December 22nd. For more information and ticket info, visit jackburford.com.
We can't wait to see you here for all the great holiday basketball action.
That's right, John. Go Indians and good luck to all the teams.